In this video I will share some information how you can make your oven flow battery like this one. So if you remember, this is the battery which I use in my vanadium redox flow battery project, and now many people ask me if I can share the STL files that the people can print its own version of this battery. So all the STL files for making this kind of battery you will find on my Patreon or on the site called Cards3D. And yeah, actually all the links to the files, including the material list, will be available in the video description as well. So you will get the files for printing yourself this tank holder, the pump holder, and making this kind of cells. So actually the tank holder is made from two parts, the top part and the bottom part. You can see over here. And then this electrolyte tank is glued to this pump holder here on the bottom, and these two, the tank holder and also the pump holder, is printed with some PLA plastic. Then here the cells, which you can see over here. Here I share actually two different variants of the reactor plates, which actually one reactor plate is something like this. So to this reactor plate, one pipe you connect to one side of the cell, and the another pipe you connect to another side of the cell. And the reactor plate like this one is also used here in this battery. The another version of the reactor plate is something like this. So here you can connect both pipes to one side of the cell, and actually then it's up to you which reactor plate you will use in your project. Then in the end, in the files will be also available this end plate. So in case that you will make some vanadium redox flow battery, all iron flow battery, or even some zinc bromine flow battery, then in this case, instead of using one reactor plate, you need to print yourself two reactor plates, because one reactor plate will be for the analyte and the another reactor plate will be for the catalyte. Because in these chemistries, one cell is separated to the positive and also to the negative side. And you put these two reactor plates like so. Then you also need two end plates where will hold the entire cell together. And here I have one cell. So over here in this battery I use 4 cells, which means that I use 8 reactor plates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And actually you can also note that all the pieces of the cell are printed with some resin printer. So in my case I use some A-based like resin, and yeah, this is because the resin is way more resistant to the chemicals like acids and alkalines. So if you choose some chemistry where you will use some alkaline or acid like electrolytes, then I recommend that you need to print yourself a cell from resin, because some PLA or PETG will really easily dissolve in some strong acids or some strong alkalines. But in case that in your battery you will use some neutral salt electrolyte, then in this case you can print the cells also with some PLA plastic, because in this case some neutral salt electrolyte will not damage the PLA or PETG. And now, what are the other materials which you will need to make this kind of battery? So first of all, the electrolyte tank is actually made from two glass tubes, like this one. So this glass tube have the dimension of 140 millimeters by 25 millimeters, and the glass tube like this one you will really easily find on Amazon. But in case that you will not get the length of 140 millimeters, then you can also use the glass tube which have the length of 130 millimeters. And yeah, this glass tube will fit into this tank holder really easily. So here I use two glass tubes, because one is for the anolyte, the another is for the catalyte. Then the next thing which you will also need is this peristaltic pump. So over here I connect one peristaltic pump to this pump holder, and here I use some peristaltic pump which have the flow rate of 150 milliliters per minute, and yeah, also this one you can find really easily on some eBay. Then the next one will be this silicone soft pipe. Here I have this silicone pipe which have the inner dimension of 4 millimeters and the outer dimension is 6 millimeters, and actually I recommend that you buy at least 5 meters of this silicone soft pipe, because more cells you add to the battery, more pipes you will also need. Then you will also need 8 pieces of these N5 screws and nuts. So the length of the screw depends how much, how many cells you will put together. And the last part on the battery which you will also need are 4 pieces of M2 screws and nuts for connecting the pump to the pump holder. And now what materials you will also need for making a cells? So at least 2 end plates and 2 reactor plates for the positive and also the negative electrolyte. Then you will need some current collectors which can be made from some graphite. 1 millimeter graphite will do the job really nice. Then the next one, you will need some gasket which is actually made from silicone or neoprene rubber. So the gasket can be in the thickness from 0.5 to 1 millimeter, and actually this kind of gasket you need to cut by yourself in the dimensions of the reactor plate. Then you will also need some graphitic carbon felt. This kind of graphitic carbon felt you can also really easily find on eBay. And actually, yeah, this graphitic carbon felt is inserted into each electrode for creating larger surface area. And you will also need some membrane which will separate the positive and the negative side of the cell, and the membrane will actually depend what chemistry you will use. So in case that you will use some zinc bromine chemistry, then some normal separator will do the job, but in case that you will experiment with some vanadium redox flow battery or some all iron flow battery, then in this case I recommend to use some Nafion ion exchange membrane. And yeah, I know that the Nafion is quite expensive membrane, and it's also a little bit harder to get, but I found some really nice source. It's not the cheapest source, but will do the job quite well, because the nephew membrane you can collect from this. This is some hydrogen fuel cell which you can actually buy on eBay, and this one cost me around $30. And this nephew membrane will fit into this reactor plate really easily, like so. But actually in the end you can also construct a flow battery which don't use this graphite felt or any kind of membrane. But actually about a membrane-free flow battery I plan to do this in my video which will come in the future. So actually I think that I mentioned all the materials which you will need to construct a battery and also that cell. But like I said before, the entire material list you will find also in the video description. I can also show you really quick how to assemble one cell together. So first you will start with the end plate. Then on this end plate you will add your current collector, which is this 1 mm graphite or graphitic foil, and make sure that the foil will not touch to any screws. Then on this graphite you will add the gasket, then the first reactor plate. Into this reactor plate you will put the graphitic carbon felt for increasing the surface area of the electrode. Then you will put the next gasket, the membrane, another gasket, because you don't want that the cell will get some leakages. Then on top of this you will add the second reactor plate. Then again this hole over here you fill with the graphitic carbon felt for increasing the surface area. The last gasket, the second current collector, and on the top the second end plate. And actually your cell is ready. So guys, that's it about this flow battery, and yeah, we see us in the next video. Bye.